Hello, everyone, and welcome to Serene Sundays. And my name's Kevin Carton. If you didn't know, even though I believe my name is like right up there, but might as well introduce myself just in case anyone new is on here. And so, Serene Sundays, here we are. If you're new to this series, Serene Sundays is where I show you how to create and generate peace, ease, and tranquility in your life by helping you master your emotions. And today's topic is near and dear to my heart. I absolutely love the power of words. And this is really the core of my teaching and what I truly believe, as well as what has changed my life over the past 3-4 years of studying the power of words. Because really the words that we use are an effect of really just what we think. And that's what we'll really be getting into, because we'll be going to affirmations. What affirmations are, what they aren't, how they work, really, because even if you've tried affirmations before, maybe you've tried it but didn't really go anywhere with it. Maybe you got distracted from using it on a daily basis, or at some point you may have found like, gosh, I've been saying these words for the past week or 2 weeks and nothing is happening. Well, after years of using these affirmations, I've found out one secret, that the reason why they don't work. And I'll be sharing that with you today. So what are affirmations? If you are new to affirmations, it's very simple. It's using your words to affirm, it's in the word of affirmation, to affirm a certain state of being. And they really do work to a certain extent, though. And there's, again, one key that you have to know in order to use them powerfully. And so some examples, since this is Serene Sundays, some affirmations that I wrote down are using the word I am and then any word after. So such as I am peaceful, I am serene, I am at ease, I am happy, I am joyful, I am content, I am calm, I am serene. And so using those words, you can then start to affect your subconscious mind, which will then really start creating emotions of those states of being. But here's really the secret. And I've showed this to you before. This might be backwards now. Yeah, it's a little backwards, but you can see it. So thoughts, feelings, actions. So this is how we create results. We have a thought in our mind, and those thoughts create feelings. And those feelings then spur us to take action. And I shared with you 2 weeks ago that this can go backwards and forwards. So if you start taking actions that are in harmony with what you want to create, then the feelings will start to come in you. And so that is kind of an indirect way of affecting your feelings, but now we're going to go to the direct way of affecting how you feel, and then as well as how you take action in your life to be more serene, more at peace with yourself in your life. And so it's working with your thoughts. And I have a really great story for you that really plays on this affirmations. So maybe many of you heard this book called Think and Grow Rich. It is probably the most popular personal development self-help book in the entire world. It was written by a man named Napoleon Hill, and he studied over 500 of the world's most successful people in the matter of 20 years. He studied them, of what they created, how they created it, whether they knew what they were doing really or not. And he created this book. He wrote this book after 20 years of research I almost knocked down some of my books. Think and Grow Rich. This is 20 years of research. He wrote this, I think it was published in like 1937, somewhere in the 1930s. And it's literally a manual for success. And it's in the title, Think and Grow Rich. But so most people don't know this story of how he came into this quest of studying these things. And so many of you probably know also this gentleman named Andrew Carnegie. So Andrew Carnegie is probably the richest man in America, if not even the world, in the early 1900s. And he's actually the influence for Napoleon Hill writing that book. And I'm going to tell you this story because it uses the power of words to actually create this. This has affected so many people's lives. Julie says, I've got lots of sticky notes in mine too. Yeah, yeah, you saw the sticky notes in my Think and Grow Rich book. Yeah, it's a great book to study. And so the story goes that Andrew Carnegie was looking for someone to go on this quest of 20 full years to study these things. JD says, look at you giving out all the wisdom and knowledge. Proud of you. Thank you. I appreciate you, JD. Appreciate you being on here, commenting as well. So Andrew Carnegie was looking for someone to go on this quest of 20 years. And so this gentleman, Napoleon Hill, he was in his early 20s, probably around my age, and he was a reporter, journalist, and he was actually struggling. He was looking for his big break. And so he goes and interviews, he gets this interview with Andrew Carnegie. And Andrew Carnegie, they spend the weekend together where Napoleon Hill was looking to find out what was going, how Andrew Carnegie was so successful. And so at the end of that weekend, Andrew Carnegie thought that he found the man, Napoleon Hill, to go on this quest of 20 years. And so he described the whole thing. He wanted Napoleon Hill to go to research on all these successful people, over 500 successful people in the world, and go on a 20-year journey to find out the key principles of success. Because Andrew Carnegie knew that there was a system of transformation that someone can go from wherever they are in their life to wherever they want to be just by using these principles. And all the successful people in the world knew it, or even if they didn't know it, they were still using it. And so he asked Napoleon Hill if he would go on this quest. And here's the key, though, the kicker. He wasn't going to pay Napoleon Hill anything. He wasn't going to give him a dime. What he was going to do, though, was going to give him a letter of introduction to all of these successful people. And after he said, gave him that offer, he had a stopwatch Andrew Carnegie had a stopwatch under his desk, and he clicked start. And he knew that if Napoleon Hill didn't make a decision and say yes in the matter of 60 seconds, then he wasn't the man. Because he has found that the most successful people in the world make decisions quickly and change them slowly, if at all. And so at 33 seconds, Napoleon Hill said yes, he would do it. And so that created this book after the 20 years. But here's where it gets interesting. And this is where I'm tying it back into this lesson of the power of words. So now once Napoleon Hill said yes, Andrew Carnegie knew that Napoleon Hill had to start changing his mind, his operating system, his patterns of thought, so that he can go on this quest and be successful in creating this work. And what Andrew Carnegie told Napoleon Hill to do was write this statement down, in quotes. Andrew Carnegie, I will not only match your achievements in life, but I will meet you at the post and pass you at the grandstand. And in racing terms, horse racing, the post is the last stretch that when they turn the corner, that's the last stretch to go. And the grandstands is where the finish line is. So Andrew Carnegie, I will not only match your successes in life, but I'll meet you at the post and I'll pass you at the grandstand. So Andrew Carnegie is telling Napoleon Hill to start affirming to himself that he's going to be more successful than the most successful person in the entire world at that time. And this kid is he's around my age, 23, early 20s. Just imagine that. The most successful person in the world telling you that you can be more successful than me. And start doing that by affirming this to yourself. So he gave him that prescription. He told him to go home, say that to himself in the mirror twice a day. Once in the morning and once right when he was about to go to sleep. And Napoleon Hill writes that in the beginning, he took his advice, of course, because why wouldn't you? He's the most successful man in the world. You might want to listen to some suggestions that he gives. And so he goes ahead, and the first couple days, maybe the first week, Napoleon Hill writes that he felt like a phony. He was saying these words to himself in the mirror, and he absolutely did not believe it at all. And maybe some of you have tried affirmations and even looked at yourself in the mirror. And as like I said in the beginning, you tried it for a week or 2 weeks and nothing happened. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel like you were doing anything. Nothing was working. And let me tell you, Napoleon Hill had the same experience. Here's what happened though. As he kept going on and on with doing this, the funny thing started to occur to him. He started believing it. And this is the key why. I told you in the beginning of this video that I was going to share with you the secret. The secret is realization, not affirmation. So affirmations are a good tool to realize something about yourself. And to put this in more perspective, I have a quote from this book called In Tune with the Infinite. It's an amazing book. And it talks about the principle of realization over affirmations. And so this is really where the power of words gets to be true. So the author, Ralph Waldo Trine, says, "It is clear that more can be accomplished through the process of realization than through the process of affirmation. Though some affirmation may be a help and aid to a realization." So affirmations can be an aid, but really what you are looking for is realization. And what is realization? It's realizing that what you're saying is true. And so this is where it really gets interesting, because that where did I put that thing? Or whatever. But I showed you that how you have thoughts, and then that generates a feeling, that generates an action, and those actions will generate your results. So what is he saying there with realizations? Realization is when you get the feeling tone of what you're saying. Because most affirmations that we say to ourselves, I've found that, okay, I'm saying this affirmation, but in the back of my mind, I'm saying like, yeah, right, Kevin, that makes sense, sure. That's what you got to pay attention to. The little thoughts that are going on in your mind as you're saying the affirmation. And so again, it's an aid, but what you're looking for is the realization. So what you're looking for is really the feeling of this is true. So when you're using an affirmation, start to feel it. And don't stop using this affirmation until you feel it. And come from that state. And that's really what is going to change your life and actually start to see the results of what you're saying. So that's what it is, the realization rather than the affirmation. And affirmations are good, they're an aid, you can use them as a tool. But again, the realization, the power of words is in the realization. So yeah, I see Einstein backwards. David says, yeah, I love that poster. It's a bunch of his quotes. Julie says, maybe the longest 30 seconds of his life. Yeah, for Napoleon Hill or Andrew Carnegie. Probably for them both, because they were looking for, Napoleon Hill was looking for a big break, and Andrew Carnegie was looking for a person to do this work. So yeah. And Julie, you're talking about this book, In Tune with the Infinite. It's a great book. It's amazing. I got it through Mary Morrissey's Brave Thinking Masters Wisdom Library. It's actually probably one of my favorite books. But yeah, Chris says excellent. I'm glad you enjoyed this. The power of words through realization over affirmation. And so that is my message. That is this video today, really for the power of words. So I would encourage you to take action with this. Again, I've shared this in multiple videos, the quote of Mary Morrissey saying that inspiration without action is merely entertainment. And you're not here for entertainment. You wouldn't be staying on here with me, listening to the words that I'm saying, just for entertainment. I truly believe that if you're staying on here, you want some change in your life in terms of feeling more serene, having a peaceful life, more peaceful than you're experiencing right now, and using the tools that I'm sharing with you to actually change what is going on in your life, to change the results of your life. So my challenge for you is in the next 7 days to use an affirmation, and more so, use the affirmation to create a realization for yourself, a realization of peace, a realization of ease, a realization of tranquility. So use that. And I would love to hear from you in the comments of what affirmation you're going to use. What affirmation can you use, and what affirmation would speak to you at this point in your life? What would you use right now to look at yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, affirm and realize about yourself? I'd love to hear in the comments what you were going to use, the affirmation. I'll share with you what I'm going to use the next week, and I have been using, because Mary Morris is my mentor. And I recently signed up to be a life coach through her company, a Dream Builder coach, and I'm so thrilled about it. I'm gonna get certified in March. And she actually encourages all of her coaches to say this. And it's going off of the story that I shared with you before. So this is my affirmation this week, and continuing on, because I've been saying this for a little while. So my affirmation is this: Mary Morrissey, I will not only match your achievements in life, but I will meet you at the post, and I will pass you at the grandstand. And funny thing, when I first wrote this down on paper and started saying to myself in the mirror, I was like Napoleon Hill. I was like, are you kidding me? Mary Morrissey has such an amazing business. She has an amazing impact in the world. She's had 2 best-selling books, and here I am, a 23-year-old kid, just getting started in the work that she has been doing for 40 years, and I'm saying I'm going to pass her at the grandstands. I'm going to meet with her at the success of meet her at the post and pass her the grandstand, have more success than she. I didn't feel it first. But once I got this from, the realization part from this book, I know it's true. And I know I'm going to do that. So congratulations again. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And so again, I appreciate you, all of you on here, for coming to Serene Sundays. And once again, the last thing I'll say is, again, I'd love to hear you in the comments. What affirmation are you going to use? Take action in your life so that you can change your life for the better. And I will see you next Sunday on Serene Sundays. And until then, I hope you have a peaceful week, a peaceful life, really. And I appreciate you for coming here to co-create this community of calmness, as I like to call it. So have a great Sunday. Have a great rest of your week. Use those affirmations to realize something about yourself. And I will see you next week. Peace.